Hey guys, me Dave. So it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I get no sleep. They torture me all night long, you guys. 8, 10 hours a night. Not one night off. I probably haven't slept in over a week. So it's 8 o'clock in the morning, okay? Um I'll show you something. See that paper? It says they're having an inspection on Thursday. Today's Tuesday. Now my mom stopped by last night. She brought Cody with. And then one of the girls she works with came in and visited for about an hour. So then before she left, she's like, "Oh, by the way, so and so said the inspection is tomorrow, which is today, Tuesday, at 8 o'clock in the morning." I showed her the piece of paper. I said, "Well, it says Thursday here." Okay. So, you know, here I am. There's no inspection today. It's Tuesday. So I did not only get no sleep, but they made me get up just in case it was today. But I have a sheet of paper that says it's Thursday. These are the things that they do to TIs, to people. And, I'm going back to bed here pretty quick. But, so I had to move my heater. I made coffee. I had to, do whatever just in case, you know. But they did this. This is like the third time they've done this. This will be the third inspection since I've been here. I've only been here since September, you guys. You know, I think they're fake inspections. They don't even come in and do anything. They don't even check the plugs. They don't do nothing. Okay. Now, my brother was apartment manager for years, over a decade, and, and my mom and them were apartment managers too for a while. So I kind of know what they do. Usually they don't go in every apartment. Usually they pick 4 apartments and go in. Um, but they always go in mine, of course, all the time. So, I mean, you got to be a total idiot or, you know what I mean? It's fake. They're fake inspections for whatever reason. I don't know why. Um, So here I am. I woke up just in case, you know. But they did this before with some of the other inspections. My mom will stop by and, "Oh, the inspection is this day," instead, or they will change the date on you on purpose. It's all for reactions, I guess. Um, you know that um, the kind of, I can't think right now. But or they'll say it's Tuesday, and then they'll say, "Oh, it got moved to next week. They'll be coming next week," or whatever. But there's no one here. No one's out there. Um, I don't even think the maintenance guy's here or nothing. So there's no inspection. I'm gonna go back to bed. Try to. Now my day's already ruined because they I'm up. Usually I'm up all night, and I try to stay in bed till noon. So now they're giving me vertical again, kind of like Sunday. And yeah, I got those pills, and I could take one that, you take all this medication that you don't need and it doesn't work, you know. And, so we got to take all these pills and supplements and we got to do all this stuff that, you know, you shouldn't be taking because you don't have any health problems. I take heartburn after my heart attack, fake heart attack, and all stuff. And I've never had heartburn in my life. I've never had mental illness in my life. I've never had vertigo in my life. And you know what I mean? So I was like, are we going to go back to the hospital today? Which is fine with me. We can do it, another 5 grand, whatever. I mean, you're so tired and they're doing all this stuff for reactions that, yeah, I'm reacting right now, making a video telling you what's going on, but your brain is so tired and it's so repetitive. Like, they sit there 24 hours and they can't think of anything new to do to get reactions out of you. I mean, I guess they do it because it works. I don't know if they're getting the same results because your brain is so tired and like overstimulated. I can't imagine them even getting any good results from doing it without any days off, you know? And I don't think they know that. I think I think they're doing it because they hate your guts and they want to ruin your life. But the researchers are doing it for another reason, you know? And I think they're doing it so much and so much and so much that I can't imagine them getting any good results out of any of this, you know, because they don't give you any breaks, you know. I mean, I was getting hit so hard 10 years ago and they were doing all this stuff. And finally they said, you know, stop doing that. But I would get days off, a lot of the times. I would cook and, whatever. And I was inside for a year, 10 years ago. And, you know, they don't know what they're doing. They're not pretending to be sociopaths. They're not that brilliant. This is them. This is the real them. They're not pretending to be like this. This is them. They hate your guts. They want to ruin your life. That's the bottom line. But they're doing it so much that I can't imagine them getting the same results, rather than giving you a break and let your brain relax a little bit and then do it. You would get way better results than to just do it. You do it 24/7. You're so exhausted that I can't imagine them getting the same results. Whatever the researchers are looking for, I think the research is done. It's been 50 years. Um, I think I think they just want to torture you, make your life a living hell, and that's what this is. Um, and I got the doctor coming tomorrow. I don't know what's gonna happen. I could barely transfer myself, you guys. Um, and so I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. You're back to square one, even worse than square one. Right back to you can't even hardly transfer yourself. I could hardly walk in here after the hospital. I mean, we're back to it's like you didn't even have therapy. So here we go again, same old bullshit. But I have to get up and just in case, you know what I mean? And they treat my mom like shit, you guys, and they would not be able to do half of this stuff without her, you know. And she's not getting paid. She's doing it out of fear. She's afraid of death of these people. They murdered her dog. They tortured her dog all the way to the vet and killed that dog in front of everyone. They don't care, But they could not do half of this stuff without her. They couldn't do it. They could not do half this stuff without her. And they treat her like shit. And she's scared to death of these people. And my sister's scared to death too. You know. And you know. So that's what's going on here. Um, you know. It's I think my mom is wore out. My sister's more distant because she doesn't want to. My sister's a very caring and loving person, and they're telling they're telling everyone to lie, basically. Um, what they don't realize, I don't know if they realize this or not, but like the girl that came in, like my perps get voice of skull, telling them what to say based on my memories. The conversation is based on my memories. If I'm taking vitamin B12, or if I'm looking at watching something on TV, or they'll reference that the whole conversation. The perp will, okay, but a lot of it is I don't know if they realize this or not, but a lot of it is AI. Their AI thoughts, and they're not my own, and they're referencing those, and it's like I say, I don't know if they're that brilliant, or if they're just doing it on accident, they don't know, or whatever. But half of the stuff is stuff that AI is saying, not me. And I don't know. So, but that's what's going on. I'm gonna try to lay down again. It's either gonna be hell day, or we'll be going to the hospital again. Another $5,000. I'm at this point. I don't care. I'm so exhausted, so tired. Like I say, you're so exhausted. I can't imagine them getting the same results. You know. Uh, But whatever. I can't do. I have no control over these people. They don't take a break. They got a fresh body in there every day. They're ready to go, man. At 7 o'clock, torture the hell out of you for 12 hours, and then torture you for another 12 hours. So that's what's going on. There's no inspection. Nobody's here. You know. So we fall for it again. But I'll talk to you guys later.